Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back in another video from 6, and today we got something quite interesting. Future Gohan is far worse than you remember. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a power scaling thing or what, but Future Gohan, everyone loves the whole concept. Like, the whole Future Trunks story is just phenomenal, and the story is great. But I am intrigued. Let's see where this video is going to go. He's got two arms! There he is, the legend himself.
Future Gohan is one of Dragon Ball's most beloved characters, not only having a tragic backstory, which is rare for the series standards, but being the future version of another popular character, Gohan, and mentor to Trunks, another super beloved and popular character. Future Gohan was already set up to be one of the most popular. In Trunks' special episode, Gohan is given even more to work with because we actually see him, and watching him make a stand against the androids is not only admirable but extremely cool.
So cool,
But
yeah.
something's off
Oh, I didn't realize there was a manga version of this. I might be an idiot.
about this Gohan. Sure, he's cool and his student is a top 5 character, but going back and looking through in more detail, I was wondering, why is he just so weak? And I found a few answers that are somewhat satisfying, but
I mean, I won't say he's weak. It's the androids, man. The androids are pretty high scale when you think about the grand scheme of Dragon Ball Z.
first I want to talk about exactly how weak he is. I do Dragon Ball videos pretty often, so if you like analysis videos like this, consider leaving a like on the
Subscribe to
video and
6. Link is in
subscribing
the
to
description
channel.
to the original video.
The first thing we need to establish in order to understand Gohan's power, or lack thereof, is that the androids in Trunks' timeline were not as strong as the ones in the main timeline.
Oh, actually, yeah, okay. Alright.
In fact, not only were they not as strong, they were way weaker. Trunks claims that against the androids in his timeline, he could at least put up a decent fight on his own, while, as we saw here in this timeline,
Not
they
at all,
absolutely
yeah.
picked him apart. Trunks stood no chance at all. He repeats this a few other times. The statement is the same, however, just that the androids are stronger here than they were last time. Vegeta is able to actually keep up with Android 18.
For a little
However, at the
bit.
beginning of their fight, they're both holding back, and when they go all out, it's confirmed in multiple guides pertaining to both the anime and manga that they were having an evenly matched battle, but Vegeta's stamina was getting depleted against an opponent who has limitless energy. The Dragon Book states Vegeta challenges number 18 to a battle alone and wages an evenly matched battle against her. Daizenshuu 5 also says Vegeta fights an evenly matched battle with number 18. However, Vegeta's stamina is depleted and he gradually finds himself at a disadvantage.
Oh, right, okay, that is interesting. So if the androids didn't have the whole unlimited stamina and that, then, okay.
Number 18, who has unlimited energy. Extreme Battle Collection 2 tells us her battle power is on par
Damn,
with
he's really researched this. I love it.
Super Saiyan Vegeta, but in the end, the difference in stamina makes a complete victory by a narrow margin. Daizenshuu 2 also states Vegeta and number 18 continue in close combat, but the untiring number 18 gains the upper hand. And lastly, the Dragon Ball Forever guide says, like number 17, she has a permanent energy furnace and is a human-based artificial human. Her power is equal to that of a Super Saiyan. There are like 5 more statements of this, but I think I've read enough guidebooks for now. But this
You've
is
made enough
even
points
said
as well,
in the
yeah.
manga itself. Trunks confirming Vegeta is holding his own against 18, and Piccolo commenting that he's going to die, telling the others to take a closer look, saying Android 18 is gradually wearing Vegeta down.
Right,
Her
okay.
stamina seems infinite, but Vegeta's stamina is taking a hit with every move he makes. El Manga Legendario also confirms her victory over Vegeta is because of her unlimited stamina and calm-headed attitude. Not only does this make Vegeta the strongest Z fighter at the time, it makes him much stronger than future Gohan ever was for sure.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it does. Goddamn, okay, yeah.
I guess I should have mentioned earlier that I'm going to cover both the anime and manga for future Gohan.
No, that's cool.
Since there are some differences between the two. For one, in the manga it's implied that Gohan was killed by 17 in a one-on-one fight, not jumped by both androids in the rain.
Oh my. Now, is this like official, like in the Z mangas, or is it its own thing? But that is interesting. So 17 beaten by
Not
himself.
only is number 17 the only one shown attacking Gohan, but Gohan only speaks to 17 about how he trained hard enough to beat him. Trunks' revenge in the future also gives this more credence, as he says his line about this being for Gohan while he's killing number 17 instead of before he kills number 18 like the English
Right.
dub has him say.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, cool.
Furthermore, it's implied Gohan is a lot weaker than the androids and not able to hold his own in the manga. Not only did the android whoop him the last time they fought, 17 claims he was only using half of his power in their last interaction before ending Gohan off screen. Gohan did mention here that he had trained in order to beat half-powered 17 and that he could finish him this time, assuming he wasn't just talking and actually was that strong. And he's a little over half as strong as Future 17,
Yeah.
who is far weaker than the androids of the present timeline, who Vegeta could hold his own against, meaning future Gohan would get washed by present timeline Super Saiyan Vegeta, but that's not as low as he goes. And to be honest,
gosh.
I actually think that take is fairly obvious given who I'm about to compare Gohan to next. But Gohan is actually probably weaker than the Goku who returned from Yardrat. After Trunks tests how strong Goku is by slashing him a few times with Goku blocking every strike only using one single finger, Trunks says that the stories he had heard about Goku were not only true, but he was better than the stories he heard. And Bulma told Trunks if Goku had survived, the world wouldn't be like how it was now. And when Trunks asked if he really was that strong, Bulma said yes. This means Yardrat Goku could possibly have destroyed both Android 17 and Android 18 of the future timeline. Gohan even possibly confirms this, telling Trunks he wears Goku's gi because he hopes he can be as strong as Goku was before he passed, but that's not as easy as it seems. Before someone comments, I know Trunks does say androids will show up possessing power no one in this world will be able to comprehend, but I think it's pretty clear he's talking about the people who were actually set to fight them in the future,
Yeah.
not Goku, who he just said was even better than the stories he heard about him and is not set to be in the world when the androids appear. Maybe Gohan would have even lost to Mecha Frieza, but there's honestly no telling.
Oh gosh.
Before I start talking about why Gohan is so weak in this future timeline, I want to mention his anime counterpart and how much stronger he seems to be. While he definitely is still not stronger than Yardrat Goku or Super Saiyan Vegeta like I mentioned earlier, he's at least stronger than his manga self for a few different reasons.
Well, he fights both of them at the same time. That's for one. Surely that's got to be a
Well, in
point.
the manga, it's implied that Gohan kind of had grudge matches against Android 17 instead of taking on both androids. In the anime, it's shown to us on multiple occasions that Gohan was combating both 17 and 18. This is also why I know pretty much for a fact that one-armed Gohan is stronger than two-armed Gohan. Obviously, one-armed Gohan is a cripple, but in the 1 year since they took his arm, Gohan had clearly managed to power up enough to be stronger than he used to be. If this doesn't make sense to you, look me in the eye and tell me Kid Sasuke is stronger than adult Sasuke just because he has two arms.
Alright, yeah, there you go.
Anyway, with two arms, Gohan is getting kind of fondled by both the androids at the same time, where with one arm he's able to defend against them better, and he even overpowers them when 18 said they were going full power. They only get the jump and upper hand on Gohan because they hit him through a smoke screen and then start raining ki blasts down on him. Other than that, he was doing pretty well against them and clearly superior to them in one-on-one combat. Even still, like I said, this doesn't change his power ranking. It only implies anime future Gohan is superior to manga future Gohan. With that out of the way, I think it's time to talk about why Gohan was so weak in this future timeline. And there are two main reasons why Gohan probably wasn't all that strong. I'd like to first introduce the idea that Trunks simply hails from a weaker timeline than the one in the present. Everyone here doesn't seem to have the correct power level, and there are more differences than just one. Android 17 and 18 are not only weaker, but a lot weaker, as I went over earlier, but not just that, they have completely different personalities for seemingly no reason other than the timeline differences, which implies to me they have a different past than the androids of the present time.
Yeah, like the future ones are like, let's kill all humans, let's do all this, and then present timeline's like, let's go on a road trip, let's find stuff. Hey, 16, you're having a good time. 'Cause 16 was a factor as well, I think, in their personality change.
To turn them into these psychopath killing machines that literally cause harm for the sole purpose of causing it. On top of that, future Trunks is different. It's explained in Dragon Ball Daima and Dragon Ball Superhero that Saiyans hit a growth spurt around the age of 15, and other than that, they stay a similar size. While this does seem to be true, we can still see them grow. Goku and Gohan both grew as they aged and didn't hit this growth spurt in the future. But future Trunks did as well. He's noticeably a different size in the future than the other Trunks, even when they should be around the same age when we see Trunks in Dragon Ball Super. I'm talking before Superhero. So this Trunks even grows faster than main timeline Trunks. Not only that, but future Trunks is way weaker at this age than Kid Trunks was at even 8 years old. Kid Trunks, who hadn't even trained with Vegeta yet, could already go Super Saiyan and could push Vegeta enough that he could actually land a hit on his face. Albeit, he is clearly weaker than Vegeta, but
Yeah,
even
obviously.
the present day androids wouldn't have been able to accomplish the same feat. Continuing with this theory, Gohan is weaker in the future timeline. That much is obvious, which I'll go over in more detail in a second. But another big difference is when Goku actually got the heart virus, because not only does Goku get it 3 years later in the present timeline, he might have died quicker from it as well. I was wondering why, even if they didn't have the medicine, they didn't simply wish away Goku's heart virus instead of letting him die. But it occurred to me that they simply might not have had the time to gather all the Dragon Balls before Goku passed away. It's also not like everyone here has virus detection. They might not have even known it was a virus before it had taken Goku and only found out from later examples in the world.
Yeah, like we only know he was getting a heart virus because he got it in the future and died from it. So yeah,
Lastly, and I kind of went over this already, although in a different context, but Goku is implied to be stronger in the present day timeline as well, although it's not as on the nose as the other examples I've been able to give. Trunks says that Goku is even better than the stories he was told about him, which, like I said, is just an implication, but to be fair, normally the heroism of dead people is spoken about in a hyperbolic way, even in the real world, and especially so when talking to children, like Trunks probably was when hearing the stories. But even without that, I don't think it's too far-fetched to say that they were talking Goku up in the future timeline, and in the present timeline, Goku is even stronger than what they talked up to Trunks. So that's the weaker timeline theory. Just a bunch of differences in strengths and events based on which timeline you go to. So one way you could say this Gohan is weaker is because he simply hails from this weaker timeline.
yeah, okay, yeah.
That doesn't necessarily conflict with the other reason I'm going to give for Gohan to be weaker. It's just something to sort of stick in the back of your head while we go over the last reason. Lack of training is another reason Gohan is weaker.
Well, yeah, Goku
Not
died.
just because he never went into the time chamber with Goku, but due to Trunks' warning, Gohan and everyone else trained extremely hard for the androids for 3 years straight. That's 3 years that Gohan in the future timeline would
Yeah,
have likely
did not have. Yeah, okay, fine. Because why would they? Because they didn't know that they were coming. But this time they know they're coming, so they would have trained. Yeah, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
been studying or something along those lines. And not only that, but Gohan has no guides in the future when it comes time for him to train. Although Gohan can explode with a lot of power in specific moments, he never keeps that power. It always fades after his current onslaught. But Goku taught Gohan how to draw energy from his anger, and not only that, Goku and Piccolo were Gohan's guides while he was training. They showed him how to fight, and with Goku, he learned how to train even better. Goku's training method of staying in Super Saiyan day in and day out propelled him and Gohan to a level far
Yeah, so he
beyond
didn't have
anybody at the
anything like
time.
that in the future.
Gohan never got that same training. In the manga, Trunks is a Super Saiyan in the future before Gohan dies, which implies to me that Gohan was able to teach him how to tap into it, which is a cool teaching feat for him. But we're looking for power here and why Gohan does not have it. Another reason Gohan could have been weak is because of depression. Maybe not in his later years, but definitely while he was a child.
I mean, yeah, lost everyone. You're a kid. You got no. Oh my God,
He lost Goku
yeah.
permanently and then lost all of his friends in rapid succession. After that, it's not even a little bit of a stretch to imply that he's messed up mentally. Ki is comprised of multiple components: energy or Genki, courage or Yuki, and the one most important for this analysis here, right-mindedness or Shoki. Toriyama goes over this while saying the most important thing is the size of your ki in battle. Vegeta training on Yardrat got ridiculously stronger just from balancing his body and spirit, and it can also increase your sensing capabilities. Gohan's depression and not being in his right mind would have, without a doubt, stunted his growth and prevented him from being as strong as he could be. I find these two reasons to be the only convincing reasons that Gohan wasn't stronger than he was in the future timeline. This guy was bordering on 30 and wasn't half as strong as our Gohan at 11. Whether or not you want to believe that the Trunks timeline is full of generally weaker people than the main timeline, that Gohan was simply depressed and had his growth stunted, or a combination of the two, I think these are the only two believable reasons.
Okay.
Gohan doesn't get much further down than Yardrat Goku, however. He would likely beat all the Z fighters from that
Well,
time
yeah,
period,
of course, yeah.
excluding Goku. And even if he's weaker than Trunks, it's just not likely that he would lose to Frieza or King Cold, who aren't even comparable to Trunks in the slightest. As I mentioned earlier, Gohan should be above at least half the future Android 17's power, only being killed by a 17 that was trying harder the second time, although not confirmed to be going all out. Trunks claims to be able to put up a decent fight against both androids after they fight in the present timeline with 17 and 18, but this is likely after he gets stronger from when he first traveled back to the present. When Trunks is talking to Goku, he says he tries to take them on himself, but unfortunately there are two of them. However, even one-on-one, it takes everything he has just to escape with his life. This might lead you to think Trunks is stronger than Gohan, but 17 does mention specifically he won't let Gohan escape this time. And when Trunks sees the androids again, 18 asks 17 if she can kill him because he's annoying. And 17 says go ahead, but they'll probably lose their favorite punching bag. So it's more implied here that the androids wanted to torture Trunks as opposed to outright kill him, like 17 did with Gohan 8 years ago at this point. Also, and before I say this, I'm well aware Bulma can't sense ki or anything, but Bulma does say to Trunks that he's too naive for wanting to take on the androids and questioning if he's really become stronger than Gohan. So him and Trunks are probably close in power, meaning he could probably beat Frieza and King Cold. So if you want to know where he should rightfully be placed in terms of power, that's the correct spot. He shouldn't be any higher or lower than that. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate if you could leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel. But other than that, have a nice day.
Fair enough. Can't really argue with that. I mean, yeah. Yeah. The whole timeline, there's obviously explanations for it as well, isn't it? Like he said, like there's no one teaching him. There's no one training him. They're all dead, like in that timeline. And yeah, it's going to affect him mentally up there and time to train, you know. Crazy. Interesting. I like Six's videos. There's always a really interesting take and an interesting approach to the end result. But anyway, thank you to my patron. If you want to have your name at the end of every video, link in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is all I ask, helps support the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks for that. And thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? If you guys think of this, click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.